Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, got quite a juicy topic over here.
Let's hear it.
So this is from one of the men in the community. He says, "Hi, I'm new on here. I've listened to your podcast and it really hit home. Me and my wife are back in this BS rut and she's talking about leaving me again. I've been dealing with erectile dysfunction. I never dealt with this before and it's been happening more often. It scares me. It makes my wife feel undesired and makes me feel insecure. We've argued. She says I don't listen. I've tried to set up a mood a couple of times. She doesn't recall. She's now cooked up a lie saying we didn't have sex on our wedding night. She's looking for reasons out of our marriage, and I'm at the edge of throwing in the towel. I'm in love with her, and I don't want to lose her, but it's damn near dead. Do you have any suggestions?"
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I imagine it's super frustrating for this guy and other guys dealing with these situations as well. The thing with my experience, I haven't had personal experience with erectile dysfunction, but in talking to both urologists, so doctors that specialize in this, and also to men that have been through this problem, the people that I speak with, I would say 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, it's psychological. Now, I know there's physical causes for erectile dysfunction. There's physical ways that it increases. But talking to the men that we've worked with in particular and talking to urologists, most of the time, it's really a psychological issue. Now, there's a lot of ways prescriptions can help, with ED and things like that. But you're not really getting to the root cause of it with ED going through there. So obviously, we're not performing the way you'd like to in bed, whether it be erectile dysfunction or coming too quickly, right? That lowers your confidence as a man, can lower your confidence as a man. And that can then become a self-perpetuating machine, thus causing erectile dysfunction more often, causing arguments in your marriage, causing you to feel lower, really just kind of sets up this, like I said, self-perpetual machine going and going and going, refeeding itself, making the problem worse and worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's a few things, isn't it? I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think it's spot on. ED is the symptom, right? It's not the cause.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's a symptom of you. I'm just rereading it. It's why I'm looking down. If you're worried about her leaving you, then I imagine the scenario goes something like, well, let me back up a moment. What I don't think many men talk about is the need or desire, rather, for the guy to feel connected to his wife in order to want to have sex with her as well. Now, look, I'm not saying men are like women in that sense. I speak to a lot of guys who have said, look, Tim, I just don't feel like having sex with her. We're not getting along. She's annoying me or whatever it is. And I just don't feel like having sex with her. So there's a disconnect in the relationship. And I think some guys can think there's something wrong with them if they feel that, right? Well, why don't I want to have sex? I mean, I'm a guy. Surely I should just want to do it regardless of how we're getting along. But the reality is in a long-term relationship, it has something to do with that. The more connected you feel to her, the more playful you are with each other, the more you're getting along, the more, the more connection there is. So I'm guessing if you're in this position where you're saying things like, she's looking for reasons out again, you're back in this BS rut again, you feel insecure, then I'm guessing there's been a moment in time, like Doug was saying, that you guys went to have sex and maybe you didn't perform in the way that you wanted to. And then you've telling yourself a story of, oh, crap, if that happens again, then I'm going to push her away and I don't want it to happen again. And I want to keep her. So you create this stress around this situation that really is a symptom of the same thing we were talking about 2 podcasts ago, right? Episode 461 on do this when she backs away. which is all about you being in a position of leadership and confidence. And, if you're in that place, it's going to be far easier for you to perform sexually, right? Because you're going to be aligned outside of the bedroom. If you're not aligned with yourself outside of the bedroom, if you're not aligned in the relationship outside the bedroom, then of course what goes on in the bedroom isn't necessarily going to go in the way that you want it to go, or maybe not be as good as it could be, right? But the reality is here as well, you get to, honestly, you get to dust off the insecurity, brother, because right now you're in a position where you're playing not to lose. You're terrified of making a wrong move because she's looking for reasons out. That means you're walking on eggshells. That means you're doubting yourself. That means you've probably been a nice guy and wanting to just keep the peace and not do anything to rock the boat and so on, which understandably then puts pressure on sex. So you got to get to the root of this, which if I were you, like I said, I'd go back and listen to that episode 2 episodes ago. Yeah, 2 episodes ago, 461, do this when she backs away, and see if that resonates. Because I think it will. And, as for her saying she doesn't listen to you, you don't listen to her, that's different. As for her, coming up with these different stories now of, we didn't have sex on the wedding night, and, I wouldn't get sucked into that story if I were you. I wouldn't even entertain. I know it's easy to want to defend yourself and slip into deer when you are feeling insecure in the relationship. But just know that that isn't the real issue here. And the more you start to address and prove how you did have sex on your wedding night, or whatever the scenario is, you've already lost by trying to prove. So don't get sucked into that. And in terms of, like I said, back to that point of she says you don't listen, then yeah, there may be something in that, right? Hidden motives technique, I'd definitely recommend using that. Doug did a podcast, episode 451, 3 ways to crush shit tests like an Aikido master. I think that'd be another great one for you to listen to. That combined with the one I mentioned a moment ago could be really great. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to find one other on the hidden motives, but episode 410, a revisit of Are You a Deer? I think that'd be a good one for you to listen to right now as well. And then, I know you're in the communities.
The one we just did a couple days ago. What to do when she's pushing away or withdrawing. Yep. Yeah, I don't remember the title or the number of that one, but that's a great one for this guy in this position he's in because he's chasing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 461. Do this when she backs away. I can't find the other one on the hidden motives, but like I said, I know you're in the community. So if I were you, I'd just go into the community, go in the search bar, type in hidden motives or type in shit tests, whatever you want to do there. Sorry, not shit tests. Type in hidden motives and a load of stuff will come up for you.
Even more relevant would be to go to the website under podcasts and search there. You can just search the podcast for hidden motives and you'll be able to pull up the podcast topics on the hidden motives technique. Even more relevant would be join the program and actually learn how to use the hidden motives technique and get coached on it. Obviously that's up to you. What I'm hearing, Tim, here is, if I can just interject here for a second, is a couple of things. One is I want to know why it's so relevant that you didn't have sex on your wedding night. That's one. There's a lot of couples that don't have sex on their wedding night, by the way, because they drink too much or they party too much, etc. So that's one. Why is that even relevant? But okay, let's just say it is. Two is you say you're setting the tone. I told her I set the tone many times, I think is what he said, but she doesn't remember. Why is that relevant? You either set the tone and it works or it doesn't. But going back to tell her and explain to her that you're setting the tone and, oh, I'm trying so hard. You're going into a very needy energy, my friend. I've been there, so I get it. And I'm not passing judgment per se or a critical judgment. I'm just giving you feedback. What I'm hearing, you're chasing your wife. So go back to that cat analogy. You're chasing her, trying to explain to her, like, look, I'm being a good boy and I'm setting the tone for us to have sex. I'm trying this. I'm trying. She doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
She's not your mom. She's your lover, your wife. Now, even if you're not having sex, she's your lover. I get that there's problems in the bedroom, and those are things that can be corrected, right? I would definitely work on the psychological components as well as maybe see a urologist about this. If it's bothering you, go talk to somebody. But whatever you do, you want to take some action here. You need to start driving the ship. You need to start leading, right? Your wife doesn't want to be, my guess is, and I'm going to say this very directly because I care. Your wife doesn't want to be with a man that she has to manage. She doesn't want to be with a man that has to explain all the things that he's doing to prove his self-worth to her. She wants to be with a man that his self-worth is obvious to him first. To him first. Right? And that starts, it's a journey. It doesn't happen just by listening to a podcast. I'll be honest with you. Like, I really spent a lot of time with coaching and everything else getting to the bottom of this. And Tim has, and our other coaches have as well. And that's why we have a system and a methodology around this, the activation method. The idea is that us as men, we're deactivated, right? We've lost that mojo. We've lost that. We start chasing our wives. We start going after these things. We become needy. We become the nice guy because we're deactivated. That's why it's called the activation method. It reactivates you. That is a key here. Right? Because you're in this. Go ahead.
Go on. I was just going to say about getting back into your body as well. I don't know if you go to the gym or anything like that, but one thing I'd invite you to start doing is just start paying attention to how your body feels when you're around other attractive women. And the reason why I say this is because what I imagine may happen for you is you may start to feel energy rise within your body, right? From your pelvis. And part of that is just to notice it, because I think the more that you notice that that energy is still there and it's active and it rises and you allow yourself to enjoy it, maybe you don't have to act on the impulse from the other woman, right? But you can enjoy the energy that you're experiencing from seeing an attractive woman and just notice it. Because I think the more that you allow yourself to notice it and the more that you allow yourself to feel it, the likelihood is the more you're going to feel it, right? Which shows you that there isn't, if that does happen anyway, there isn't a problem, quote unquote. There's not like a physical problem with you. I think it further shows you that you're just getting into your head in the sexual scenarios with your wife because you're terrified of pushing her further away, which then, creates the exact thing that you don't want. But a lot of the stuff you mentioned in there, brother, are just symptoms. 100%. Symptoms of you being in deer mode.
Yeah. I mean, right now, man, the best advice I can give you, honestly, the best advice I can give you is get your butt in the activation method.
Oh, to an alpha reset.
Yeah, the alpha reset too. It truly. After that, you got to first recognize that you're being very needy. It sounds like. And I'm not putting you down. I'm saying this out of love because I'm being direct with you because I'd want you to be direct with me if I was in your situation. So please understand that. You're being very needy. Your needy energy. You're probably also not being very decisive. So start making some decisions from a place of leadership. Right? Decide what you want and go after it. If you want to save your marriage, do everything you can to do so. Right? If you want to fix the ED, do everything you can to do so. My guess is if you start working on yourself, you become activated, ED is not going to be as big of an issue. Just a guess. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet. I've just seen it happen so many times for men. Their erections just get rock solid. Guys talk about it after the activation method, right? Why? Because it's in the head. It's psychological. Even guys that don't have ED, that are performing well, they perform better because they're more confident, quiet confidence, We talked about in the previous couple days ago about the real state of mind of an alpha. Go back and listen to that a couple times, like 3, 4, 5 times. Take notes. This is where you get to go. You get to get out of this nice guy mode where you're just chasing your wife. You're being in this needy energy, trying so hard to prove your worth to her. Now what you really need is prove your worth to yourself. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've got two posters behind me. Now, I'm not the best decorator in the world. One is the Powerful Man logo. It's the wolf, right? Wise, open, loving, fierce. Tim talks about the meaning of the blue eyes, the blood, the rose, the significance. The other one is a ticket, just like a ticket to a show. But it says one life. You have one life. You don't get a second ticket. Use it well. I'm telling you guys out there, you don't get a second ticket. Go all in. Lean in, go all in. As if your life was a sporting event, and if you lose, you die. Because you do. We all die. We all meet that end. We all cash that ticket. So go all in, my friend. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner. I know Tim is as well. The other coaches. Post in the community. And I love that you're doing that because there's so many guys in that community that aren't posting. That are active listeners. There's so many men. I think we had almost 14,000 downloads last week of the podcast that are listening to this, that are taking words, but aren't taking action. And that's okay. That's the stage that people are in. I'm okay with that journey. I was there too. But you and I both know that taking action is so much different. Your actions speak louder than words. It's not only just a saying, but it's a truth. So my friend, I invite you to step in, take action. Go back, write down all those podcasts that Tim had mentioned. Listen to them a number of times. Do it while you're walking, but I also recommend taking notes, copious notes.
It's a great saying. The erection a man will often bring to his woman is a similar erection will often bring to the world.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Something to consider.
Love this, Tim. I love that we're able to take questions for you guys. Get out of there. We got more coming in. So guys, don't worry. Keep those questions coming. We love fielding them. It's our way of trying to provide value to you guys, right, into the world. And our hope is that you guys take action on this. You make your families better families by becoming better men. Then that becomes a better community that you live in, which then becomes a better world that we all live in, right? That's what I want for you guys. But as always, in the moment of insight, take massive action, guys. We'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.